Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to share my late February book haul. It was also my birthday in February, so I got a couple of books from my friends. And I also picked up the Ultimate Reading Challenge book. And basically, you may have seen this around, but basically it's just like this folder. It just has the one page where it has all of these little envelopes with book prompts on them, and then I'm assuming that what you're supposed to do is read what's on the prompt, or read for the prompt, like for example, okay, listen to a reading themed podcast. I promise I did not pick that one on purpose, but listen to my podcast, and then you can open this little flap and there is a little bookish goodie in there. Oh, okay. I'm excited about this because I'm going to be opening it on my Patreon. So if you want to be spoiled for all of the little envelopes in here, go ahead and check out my Patreon. It's linked down in the description box. But now let's go ahead and get to the actual reading books that I got this month. Okay, so I was actually trying to get a thumbnail for the video and all of the books crashed all over the floor. So they may be some in order, some not. We're just going to go in the way that I have them stacked right here on this table. All right, let me fix my camera again. And we're back. Okay, first one at the top of the stack, Saving Noah by Lucinda Berry. I put all of Lucinda Berry's books on my wish list because I want all of her books. I'm doing a podcast episode about it at some point, so I want to read as many as possible. And especially this one because I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this author, specifically this book recently, and I actually just read this last night. So I'm doing a Lucinda Berry reading vlog, so you'll hear my thoughts on that. But yeah, I got this from my friend Danielle A, and I really appreciate it. Let's see, next up is another Lucinda Berry book that I got from one of my friends. My friend Lena sent me this one, The Secrets of Us, and this is about foster sisters Crystal and Nicole. And what I like about Lucinda Berry is that she has, it says it best on the back of this over here. Hold on, let me pull this book back. She is a trauma psychologist, the author, Dr. Lucinda Berry. She is a trauma psychologist and leading researcher in childhood trauma, and she uses her clinical experience to create disturbing psychological thrillers, blurring the line between fiction and nonfiction. So I'm sure that she has some experience with trauma that foster sisters have endured. So, looking forward to that one. I also, my friend Angel sent me Blacktop Wasteland by 𝒎𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒔, and I'm just really excited to read another 𝒎𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒔. I think it's going to be like one of those high-octane thrillers that I really like, because this is about an getaway driver east of the Mississippi, known as Bug, and he's doing the one last job type thing, this jewelry heist. So looking forward to that one. I'm hoping I can get to it pretty soon. And then I got two books from my friend Richie. One is kind of buried in the stack towards the bottom, but he got me Wild by Cheryl Strayed, and I'm really excited about this, and I'm actually hoping to do a Cheryl Strayed taste test because I've never read anything by her, but this is based on like her life, her memoir, I guess. I don't know if it is technically a memoir or not, but I've heard great things and I've wanted this for a while. But I actually had this one on my TBR first, Tiny Beautiful Things, Advice on Love Life from someone who's been there, and I thought I could read both of these books in that vlog. So I also got sent Buried Beneath the Boarding House by Ryan Green, and this is a true story of deception, exploitation, and murder, and it just sounds fascinating. 1988, detectives from the Sacramento Police Department were called to investigate the disappearance of a man at his last known address, a boarding house for the elderly, homeless, and mentally ill. And there is this old lady, I believe, or something like this. Yeah, a charming and charitable old lady. I mean, I I think she's the killer, you guys. And it's short, so I'm actually hoping to get this one soon as well. Then my friend Karen sent me a book that I actually put on my wish list because of her. She had other people in my book club reading it, and that is The Extraordinary Life of Sam Hell by Robert Dugoni. And I've never read anything by this author before, but everybody always has like great things to say about this. And I'm really, really excited. His mother promised he'd live an extraordinary life. It's time to find out for himself. He had red pupils and he was called Devil Boy by his classmates. I don't know. And it's like 40 years later, Sam, a small town eye doctor, is no longer certain anything was by design, especially not the tragedy that caused him to turn his back on his friends, his hometown, and the life he's always known. Running from the pain, eyes closed, served little purpose. Now, as he looks back on his life, Sam embarks on a journey that will take him halfway around the world. This time, his eyes are wide open, bringing into clear view what changed him, defined him, and made him so afraid, until he can finally see what truly matters. Oh, I am so excited for this. Thank you so much, Karen. Then I won Queen James. I think it was their 200 subscriber giveaway, their roughest draft. And this is a new rom-com release, and I'm really looking forward to reading this one. They said, have heard several people talk about this one, and I'm curious how you'll like it. If you enjoy it, I think I'll give it a go as well. Congrats, Queen James. Yes. Thank you so much, Queen James. I appreciate it. And congrats again on 200 subscribers. Also, I will link their channel down below because if you're not following them, I believe you should. They also recently started a vampire book club, so get hyped. I also recently discovered or rediscovered Pango books, and I picked up Breaking Free: How I Escaped Polygamy, the FLDS Cult, and My Father Warren Jeffs by Rachel Jeffs. And this is a obviously nonfiction memoir about her life and being in a polygamous cult. This is one that I've had on my wish list for a while. So when I saw it on there for like $1.50 or $2 or something like that, it came out in 2017. It also has pictures in it, so that's very interesting. Also mentioning memoirs, recently on my podcast, Talk Bookish to Me, I did an episode all about memoirs with a bunch of recommendations. There's a bunch of memoirs recommended in that episode, so I will make sure to link that in the description box for you. Next up, another true crime book by Ann Rule. This is a chunky baby. I'm so excited to eventually get to this one. It is The Stranger Beside Me by Ann Rule. I picked this up for Beth's book club. I don't know the name of her book club. That's terrible. I should know that. I just always refer to it as her book club because she has it here on YouTube, and I will link her channel down below as well. But yeah, I picked this up. This was their January book, but I never did get it. The mail, you know, it's a whole thing. It's been getting late everywhere. I ordered it from Half Price Books and in Texas, and it just took way longer to get to me. So I got it like, I think mid-February. And then I was just kind of like, and I'm waiting on the audiobook now. So I will eventually be reading that one. Next, I picked this one up. I don't know how I came across this book, but it seems like it's going to be kind of that locked room mystery in a hotel-ish type thing. And I also think it's young adult, which for some reason I didn't pick up on when I purchased it, but that's fine. It says, 15 years ago, a murder-suicide in room 712 rocked the grand old Bellwether Hotel and the young bridesmaid who witnessed it, Minnie Graves. Now, hundreds of high school musicians have gathered at the hotel for the annual statewide festival. Minnie has returned to face her demons, and a blizzard is threatening to trap them all inside. When a young prodigy disappears from infamous room 712, the search for her entwines an electric cast of conductors and caretakers, teenagers on the verge and adults haunted by memories. It's a genre-bending page-turner full of playful nods to pop culture classics from The Shining to Agatha Christie to Glee, 𝒑𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒂𝒂 is an award-winning new novel from a writer to watch. So I am looking forward to this one, and I'm hoping that I can read it before the year is out and see how I like it. All right, then I finally kind of treated myself and got Migrations by Charlotte McConaughey. I picked this up because I love eco stuff. This is one that has been recommended to me several times. I know Ashley read this and loved it. I know Elizabeth from Reading Riley read this and recommends it. There's other people too. I don't remember who I initially got the recommendation from or heard them talk about this book. But this has been on my wish list forever. And then I recently did a fun little bonus episode on my Patreon where if you're one of my patrons, I tailor recommend a book to you. And one of my patrons is like me. They like the earth and learning all things about it and like ecological things, themes and stuff. And I recommended this book to them and I was like, I need to buy it for myself. So I did, and I'm really looking forward to this. I'm super excited to have this in my collection now, and I cannot wait to read it. Okay, another book that I came across, I absolutely love the cover of this one, and I was going to read it with A Castle in the Clouds. My original plan was that I was going to read it when I read The Castle in the Clouds because it also has the word castle in the title. That didn't end up happening, but it is a Japanese bestseller, Lonely Castle in the Mirror. This is the author right here. And it does seem like it's going to be a little fantasy, and this author is a well-known best-selling mystery novelist in Japan. And it says that it combines elements of Japanese fantasy with highly topical themes of emotional well-being and friendship. And I love this cover so much. Like, I can't even tell you. Look at this. The prize-winning Japanese #1 bestseller. I mean, look how beautiful that cover is. I can't. It's so pretty. In a tranquil neighborhood of Tokyo, 7 teenagers wake to find their bedroom mirrors are shining. At a single touch, they are pulled from their lonely lives to a wondrous castle filled with winding staircases, watchful portraits, and twinkling chandeliers. Like, that sounds amazing. So, picked that one up finally. And then I ordered this from Book Depository, and it also took a while to come in. Had a plan for this, but it did not work. That's okay. I'm still very excited to read it. Unnatural Causes by Dr. Richard Shepard. This is a nonfiction book, part true crime, part memoir type. He is a forensic pathologist, and he has in Britain, and he has, let's see, performed over 23,000 autopsies. And he's talking about like how he's tackled serial killers, natural disasters, perfect murders, freak accidents, and how like he talks about those like cases and stuff, but he also talks about like the mental toll and the physical toll that doing this job has, you know, how it's affected him. I also picked up another Anne Rule, Green River Running Red, the real story of the Green River Killer, America's deadliest serial killer. I don't know. I feel like all true crime books say this is the worst serial killer ever, you know? But it has pictures, which is so like, it's both fascinating and horrifying because it's like, these are real people, this really happened type thing, you know? But this is, let's see, in 1982. So a 1980s true crime book. Really looking forward to that one. And it's also another chunky boy. 2 books that I picked up for myself at Barnes & Noble, like for my birthday myself. I picked up Breathe by Joyce Carol Oates. I've never read anything by her, but she is one of her books is being adapted, Blonde, and it's based on Marilyn Monroe's life. And I actually did a whole episode on Talk Bookish to Me about book to movie adaptations coming this year, and some that are just like coming and stuff like that. And that's how the author's name got put on my radar. And so when I saw this in like the new release section, I was like, okay, let me try that author out. And it sounds like it's gonna be so emotional. And it says, part intimately detailed love story, part horror story embedded in real life. Breathe is an exploration of the haunting rooted in the domesticity of marital love, along with a determination to be faithful to the beloved and to survive the trauma of loss. It just sounds like it's gonna break me, but I'm really looking forward to it. And then I also picked up new release The Fields by Erin Young. This is a new crime fiction. I talked about it in my January book tag. I believe this is the one that I mentioned. But yeah, it's the first book in a new crime fiction police procedural series. And I just want to get into it. It's about a body that's found in a cornfield. And then when Sergeant Riley goes there, she discovers the victim was a childhood friend, and then rumors start traveling in the small town, and then I think there's like another body that's found that's like connected and stuff like that, but really looking forward to that one, obviously. And then Brenda reached out to me and sent me Killjoy by Holly Jackson, which was so nice. So when I read the trilogy, I was able to read this prequel novella as well. This one is about a 1920s murder mystery birthday party before the events of the actual trilogy. So that was fun. I picked up some graphic novels when I went to Barnes & Noble as well. I picked up The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag. I talked about this in my graphic novel reading vlog. I also picked up Fake Blood by Whitney Gardner. Talked about that in that graphic novel reading vlog. My friend Jordan sent me Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. I've already read this one. I did enjoy it. Probably not as much as the first one. I don't know. Yeah. But I mean, it was good. It was kind of a lot for me. Then the other book that my friend Richie sent me is a graphic novel, Anne of Green Gables, adapted by Mariah Marsden. And I read this. I loved it. I also read it in that graphic novel reading vlog. And then I have two more books. I have Clara and the Sun, and this is a sci-fi novel about an artificial friend that is in a store and is observing the world around them. I don't really obviously know too much about this, and I'm so surprised that I went out on a limb to pick up this sci-fi book. I'm actually hoping to read it this month. I mean, if not this month, I really want to get to it soon. I recommended this to one of my patrons in that tailored book recommendations bonus episode on my Patreon. And yeah, when I was recommending this book, I was like, actually, I kind of want that book for myself as well. It sounds like a sci-fi book that I can get on board with. So I went ahead and picked myself up a copy. And then the last book in this book haul is The Night Shift by Alex Finlay. This was a pre-order for me. I'm reading this for my podcast, Talk Bookish to Me. Sarah from Sarah's Shelves and I are actually going to be buddy reading this, and we're hoping that all of you guys are reading it with us this month. And then the discussion is actually going to be on April 4th on my podcast, Talk Bookish to Me. All the links are in the description box. But again, April 4th, it comes out early in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, and then it just stays up. So whenever you do get to read the book, it's there for you to listen to. But I'm looking forward to reading this month, and then discussing my thoughts with Sarah and sharing my thoughts with all of you. But those are the books that I got in February. I am sorry this book haul is a little late. I'm not sure if this is actually like all of the books that I got in February, because I did get like The Castle on the Clouds in February as well, but I've already read it and talked to you guys about it. There might be a couple of other books like hanging around somewhere. But I wanted to share my book haul. I wanted to once again thank my friends for sending me books for my birthday. I really appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're having a lovely day or night. I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye guys.